Let's move on. 1 p.m. Eastern. Houston Texans 1-6-1, 1-3 on the road. New York Giants 6-2, 3-1 at home. We're at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We'll start with the line history here in this one. We have the Giants opening up at Pinnacle at -6. They're now -6.5. The 7 they have listed is at +106. From a total perspective, it opened up at 38.5 and has climbed up to 40.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if that correlates. 3,429 tickets in. 50% of the tickets, it's 50-50 in the tickets, but 59% of the cash on the Texans. That's interesting. Then 87% of tickets, 96% cash on the over, and the market's concerned and are moving the total up 2 points. Texans coming off extra rest and prep after their 29-17 loss at home to the Eagles on Thursday night. Davis Mills finished 13-22 for 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he played without Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks sat out all practice, expecting to be traded, and that never happened. So is it fair to assume, I was trying to get this information, is it fair to assume that he's going to be back in uniform, or is he done?
He might just opt quiet quit for the year. Just be like, I'm done. I'm mad at the team. I don't know. Even if he does come back, it's not a good relationship at this point. So the Houston offense is predicated basically around a rookie running back, which is a rough look when you head on the road and face a team that's been playing above average, above where they're supposed to at least.
They sure have. And yeah, Cheshire, I got a chance to see that goal. It's fun. McDavid's a hell of a hockey player. Nico Collins missed the game with a groin injury. I really want to know about Brandon Cooks, but I think that probably leaning towards him not coming back.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Damian Pierce ran 139 yards on 27 carries last out. It was a nice bounce back from that 35-yard game the week before. Philip Dorsett and Chris Moore, now you're number 1 and 2 wide receivers. I mean, or receivers, I should say. But 3 receptions, 69 yards, 4 catches for 43 and a touchdown for Moore. 2 of 9 on third down. Defense played tough, 4 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Held the Eagles to 360 total yards. And we know what the Eagles are capable of putting up. The Giants come in fresh off their bye week. This has become a team that's fun. Dable, Kafka, and Wink are really putting something together. Yeah. They were last seen in a disappointing 27-13 loss at Seattle. It wasn't as bad as the score indicated. I mean, Richie James gave that game to the Seahawks. Daniel Jones, 17-31 for 176 yards. Jones had 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers this year. That's the difference. He's not been intercepted in 128 straight passes. Jones was a guy who just couldn't be trusted, and something has changed. And I wonder if the same thing is going to be said about Trevor Lawrence after what happened. That's sort of why my angle's towards the Jags there. And one of those interceptions was a desperation pass, week 3 loss. There's nothing. He's just been so much better. Saquon Barkley, 20 carries for 53 yards, touchdown. He entered the week leading the NFL in yards from scrimmage, second yards rushing. His previous low of the year was 70. 968 all-purpose yards, so he's second to Tyreek Hill at 982. He's on pace for 1,655 rushing yards and 2,057 all-purpose. Darius Slayton caught 5 for 66. Nick Williams got hurt in the first quarter to a biceps injury, and Richie James in concussion protocol. But that's not the big story out of the break. It's Xavier McKinney suffers a hand injury while riding an ATV in Cabo this past week. So this is a third-year safety. He started every game for the Giants this year. 38 tackles, a sack, 4 passes defended, and a forced fumble. Third on the team in solo tackles. So they lose him. The biggest surprise, I don't want to, maybe surprise is not the right word, but Dexter Lawrence has been so good. So good. Just a big dude, but now he's just playing exceptional. 9 total sacks his first 3 years, and he's leading the Giants in sacks right now. He's the 5th graded interior defender from Pro Football Focus in the entire league. 26 total pressures. He used to be just a big body to stop the run. He's now doing everything. The Giants are the first team in NFL history to start 6-1 or better and have each of their first 7 games decided by 1 possession. And that's coaching. In Giants games so far this year, neither team has reached 30 points. Neither team. That's wild. It's just absolutely wild. What are your thoughts here? Giants coming in off a bye. Are they worthy 6.5 or 7-point favorites?
Yeah, I bet them. I bet them -6.5. Texans have been horrid on the road. Horrid in, like outside of garbage time. They're not a competitive team when it comes down to it. And yes, the Giants defense, I think that's the only thing keeping this under 7. The Giants defense hasn't been good against the run. But a lot of that, I think, has come where the game plan has been to run because it's been tougher against the pass in some of these games, at least better than we thought they'd be. And yes, the Giants defense is a bad run defense, but the Houston Texans defense is a historically bad run defense. They gave up 300 yards on the ground to Tennessee the other week, and they are going to get Saquoned hard. I know, I'm not a big Daniel Jones guy. He's been better about not giving the game away, at least, not making massive mistakes. And he can do a few things with his legs. I think it's going to be another case of, we're seeing this with some of these quarterbacks where maybe they're not the best passer, Justin Fields, but they can do a few things out of structure with their legs or keeping the play alive. And I played some -6.5. I haven't bet the Giants much this year. I bet against them with Seattle. A little fortunate with those punts, those punt returns that were muffed/fumbled. And yeah, this is a spot where I'm willing to say I have the Giants, like 5.5 points better than the Texans on a neutral. And that's just because I've had to downgrade the Texans so much here. They've eclipsed Carolina as my worst power ranked team, and this is one where I have it over 7 at this point.
I can get you the 6.5 at -105 for
yep,
the
it's
Giants.
fun. It's exactly what I bet. That is the exact bet I took yesterday.
Our guy LJ from H-Town, he knows the Texans team inside and out. He says Texans only averaged 9 points on the road. He says take out the Charger game. Texans have scored a total of 36 points on the road. 14-1 the Giants are to the under at home since 2020. He says under 41, no doubt. Why do you think this has gone from 38.5 up to 40.5 from 41?
I don't know. Maybe just seeing the Texans being able to run the ball a little, and the fact that the Giants have given up some yards on the ground. Yeah, I don't fully understand. I think the number, anything around 40 is probably bang on with this. I don't have a strong lead on this side. I think the Giants, the total comes down to how do the Giants perform in the red zone? Because they're going to get there. They're going to run up and down the field. Are they going to punch it in, or are they going to kick a bunch of field goals? And honestly, that might be what determines my fate in this one too. I think they're going to be fine. The Texans aren't great in the red zone. So -6.5 here, just more of a numbers play. I make this 7.5.
And obviously your action correlates in the idea of what the chat is talking about with the Texans team total under.
Yeah, they legit might only score in garbage time. I've said that about bad teams before. And yeah, the Texans looked a little squirrely the last time out against the Eagles, at least at first, or they got on the scoreboard. But it's it's not a spot I thought I'd ever back. The New York Giants is a big favorite in this year, but my numbers suss this out, and that's where I'm at. So not crazy about this one. Usually the ones I'm not crazy about come through in spades, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's also something with Peter Lochak. He said over his career that it's his like B looks that have a much higher ROI than the A ones that he has got all the confidence in. And Terry Walker wondering if New York can be trusted for more than a touchdown. I wonder if that team total of 15.5 is a great spot. The injury to McKinney doesn't seem like Davis Mills is capable of taking advantage of. It's 15.5 at -105 at Bet365. It's 15.5 at +116. The under 15.5 +116 at Pinnacle, which is much, much better number. Mike says Giants suck when favored by 7. They do, but I do think that this is different now with Daboll, Kafka, and Wink. And it's going to be fun to see what they do off the bye. I'm interested in what you are doing here with the Giants as big favorites, and very, very interested. Papa Call says there were 7s out yesterday, but all disappeared. Wouldn't mind just looking at that quickly. Did this move? Let's just pull up.
It's been bouncing a little.
Why do you think 7 would be?
I mean, it's just taking a touchdown with even with a bad team. It's proof some of these big totals haven't looked so good, or these big spreads haven't looked so good for the home favorites. I'm fine taking a team out, and I know the buy is built into this number, and I have that built into mine as well. But taking a team with a good coaching staff off a buy is never a bad look for me.
All right, let's roll on. We're going to roll on to